What is the common thing you discuss to someone? Basically, communication is part of our everyday life, and the way we talk or discuss things or topic to someone is the only difference. It is all after what your purpose is in doing so. So today we are going to talk about communication for various purposes. So according to but first and foremost, let us review first what do we mean when we say communication or the meaning and nature of communication. So, according to McFarland, communication is a process of meaningful interaction among human beings. More specifically, it is the process by which meanings are perceived and understandings are reached among human beings. So, it's all about the exchange of information or passing of information, ideas, or thought from one person to other or from one end to other. That is communication. Communication serves five major purposes. These are to inform, to express feelings, to somehow imagine, to influence, and of course to meet social expectation. So each of these purposes is reflected in the form of communication. So the first purpose is, or the first type of communication that we're about to discuss is the informative communication. So it is being said that in informative communication, informative messages attempt to present an objective, again, take note of the word objective, that is truthful and unbiased, meaning to say there will be no prejudice that could be seen in view of topics being considered. So, according to Osborne 2009, informative communication arises out of these three deep pulses. So, these are first, we seek to expand our awareness of the world around us. Next one, we seek to become more competent. And lastly, we have an abiding curiosity about how things work and how they are made. So, when preparing an informative communication, these are the questions that you could ask yourself, guys. First one, is my topic noteworthy to be considered informative? Or what do my recipients already know about my topic? It could be, what more do they have to know? Or what are the other things that they need to know? And lastly, am I knowledgeable enough of my topic to help my receivers understand it? So again, that is an informative communication and that is how you could formulate it. After that, we have effective communication. So in effective communication, it is the process through which people express feelings about things, themselves, and others. It's all about expressing either positive or negative feelings about someone, about place, about an object, about an event, policies, and other ideas. So more likely, it's this is where we get our opinion. No, our values and beliefs give rise to our feelings and emotions towards things, including other people, or it could be ourselves as well. When we express or disclose an emotion in our communication, this is said to be an effective communication. Like, for example, when you say, I don't like that theme, or I love this car, or even I am not sure how I feel about this. So, more likely, effective communications are disclosures of emotions and therefore our beliefs and our values as well. However, the relationship between an expression or disclosure of an emotion often does not have a direct and simple correlation with an individual or groups or values and beliefs. Well, more likely, um, our emotion doesn't always correlate with how we speak or how we talk to someone. Like when you are angry, it doesn't mean that you have that, um You have that ample right to shout to someone, or to give a high voice to someone. No, still we need to have that ample reasoning, okay, on how we express our emotion. Next one would be imaginative communication. It may be defined as a process through which invented situations are created and, in most cases, being shared. Whenever people invent jokes or stories, speculate, daydream, or make believe, they're engaged in imaginative communication. Well, people, um, when they appreciate, or people would get engaged in an imaginative communication when they appreciate um, fictional messages found in books, magazines, newspapers, films, television dramas, plays, and conversation. So, more likely when you say imaginative communication, our senses has part on it. uh. After that is the persuasive communication. I know for sure that you are already familiar when we say persuasive communication. Now we have the persuasive speech, persuasive writing, and the likes. Persuasive communication may be defined as a process through which people attempt to influence the beliefs or actions of others. In many cases, persuasive communication involves people who are important to each other, be it the parents influence children, children influence parents, and friends influence each other. It provides persuasive communication provides a choice among options. Kumbaga, um, advocates persuasive communication advocates something to a speaker. No, it uses supporting material to justify evidence, because our main purpose is to persuade them or to encourage them to know our side and be on our side. No, turns the audience into agents of change and ask for strong audience commitment. So that's how persuasive communication works. Next one is the ritualistic communication. Ritualistic communication is the process through which people meet social expectations. So in ritualistic communication, coming from its name, it's ritual, meaning to say we are expected to do this because that's what the society is expecting us to do. No, the word ritual comes from the Latin word, which is ritualis, that means pertaining to rites. No, there is this rites, there is this ceremony that will happen. For example, marriage, diba? Or for example, baptism. Not only with religious rites, but in other forms of rites. Just like in Twitter, we know for a fact that this we know for sure what is Twitter. So in Twitter, the rights that we follow is that we create our account, and then we follow people. That is the term that we use. We follow. That's the jargon that we have there. And then the term follow back, if that person that we follow likes to follow us too. No, and when we post, we are not saying that I post that in Twitter. More likely we say we tweeted, or I tweet this, and so on and the likes. No, so that's ritualistic communication. We have that certain norm, or we have that, we can call it a template or rights that we follow, because that is what is expected for us to follow. Again, that is ritualistic communication. So there are tips for effective communication. So be it an informative communication, be it an effective communication, be it ritualistic communication, no, we need to communicate relentlessly. We need to simplify, but still be direct. Listen and encourage input. Illustrate through stories if it is possible, and also affirm with action. So remember the paralinguistic cues and the prosodic features that we discussed last time. So we can also use those. An effective communication is all after quick in solving problem solving, strong decision making. So, as an individual, we need to be decisive on what we want to talk about or what kind of communication we want to initiate. More productivity, consistency in the workflow, strong business relations, so effective communication that could also help us to build network. Okay, build strong business relations, better control, advanced professional image. You as a college student, you are now in the stage of building your professionalism, kumbaga, like you are now in the process of making yourself a professional 3 years or 4 years from now. And lastly, better response from all stakeholders. That's the reason why you have this subject, purposive communication, for you to be a responsible and a responsive individual or professional in your own craft. So as we end, according to Teo Gold, communication is your ticket to success if you pay attention and learn to do it effectively. So an effective communication, be it in various purposes, it'll all it'll all rely on how you pay attention and how you speak, okay, and how you make yourself effective as you can. So that's it, and thank you so much for listening.